Hey, Luke Inman back again in the eDraft.com studios. That time of week again where I'm here to give you some value plays for your FanDuel and DFS lineups for week 4 of the NFL action. Now, I hate to sound redundant, but it must be said, if you're entering a 50-50 or a double-up style of play, higher upside, riskier players aren't always the best option. Now, if you're entering a tournament style play where you need to get in that top 1 or 2 or 3% of your league, then those riskier options that aren't going to be owned a lot is the better route to go. For example, in a 50-50 league, I'd be more than content with a mid-tier quarterback like a Phillip Rivers or a Matt Ryan. While I'm not breaking the bank, I know I'm getting what I'm paying for, but in a tournament style play, I might look for a guy like Tyrod Taylor if he's still cheap enough and has a good matchup, or another cheaper, more affordable quarterback that still has good upside like a Kirk Cousins or Blake Bortles. Saying that, let's start at the top with the quarterback. Now, he might be owned and plugged into lineups and rosters a little bit more than my liking this week, but for just $7,000, Derek Carr just too good to pass up. Talking about a guy who's averaged over 20 FanDuel points now in back-to-back weeks, and he gets the tasty matchup in week 4 against the Chicago Bears. The Bears have given up the 9th most points to opposing quarterbacks and also have averaged almost 3 passing touchdowns allowed per game. Now, Carr's got 2 juicy weapons on the outside in Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree, and a solid running game to take some pressure off him from the defense. If you need another option, the red-hot hand of Andy Dalton for $7,600 sure does entice me, and Blake Bortles in a dome against the Indianapolis Colts for just $6,800 and what should be a high-scoring affair. Nobody better right now for the value in my eyes than Carlos Williams, who scored in back-to-back games. He's going to score again this week against the New York Giants, who've given up over 21 points on the ground to opposing running backs. At 6'1", 230 pounds, it's Williams, not LaShawn McCoy, who's exactly what Rex Ryan wants in a running back as he wears down defenses with big, physical, churning yards after contact. Carlos Williams is exactly that. And oh, by the way, he's not just an in-between-the-tackle runner. No, he's averaging 7.8 yards per carry on the ground this year. LaShawn McCoy plays, he doesn't play, I don't care. Go get Carlos Williams in your lineup right now for $6,300, and don't tell me I never gave you anything. Well, on the surface, seems the mighty have fallen in Washington, talking about Alfred Morris, who heading into the year was a top 10 running back once again. And all of a sudden, after a Matt Jones blow-up in week 2 and then a goose egg last week against the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football, everybody has thrown Alfred Morris all of a sudden to the wayside or under the rug. Pump the brakes, says Jay Gruden, who reiterated this week, Alfred Morris is our guy. We're going to get him the bulk of carries and touches once again this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, who, I might add, will be without Kiko Alonso, their star young up-and-coming linebacker. Could have huge implications on their run defense. The other thing I want you to keep close eyes and tab on, the weather. Big hurricane advisory coming into that area come Sunday. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, means a lot of running. I like Alfred Morris for just $6,200, who's still that top 10 running back. It's going to give you that kind of upside. If he doesn't do it for you, though, think about Danny Woodhead or Lance Dunbar, 2 guys you can get for cheap, catch a lot of balls, which is valuable in a PPR league. I talked to the guy who's in charge around here, $6,000? Are you freaking kidding me? All the guy does is catch touchdown passes. James Jones proved that once again on Monday night against Kansas City Chiefs. We caught 7 balls along the way for 139 yards. Now, with Devontae Adams out, it's 1 and 1A. When you're talking about Aaron Rodgers' top weapons with James Jones and Randall Cobb, but James Jones, $2,000 less than Cobb. It's a no-brainer. If you like Aaron Rodgers, then you should love James Jones against the San Francisco 49ers this week, who have struggled against bigger-bodied wide receivers deep downfield. It's a no-brainer. James Jones, $6,000. On the surface, he might reek of inconsistency so far this year. Talking about boomer bust prospect Allen Robinson goes off for 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago, lays a goose egg last week. What do? Well, his targets have actually been very consistent. 9 more targets last week for Robinson, who's the clear-cut best receiver in this passing attack for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know it, you know it. Blake Bortles knows it. This week, he gets the Indianapolis Colts, who all they've done this year is give up big plays to the receivers. Guys like Percy Harvin, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Kendall Wright, Terrell Green Beckham. They all got a little taste of the pie that is known as the Colts secondary, and Allen Robinson's next in line for just $6,500. I love the price in a controlled environment in Indianapolis and what should be a high-scoring affair. Well, Minnesota Viking tight end Kyle Rudolph, who averages 6 targets per contest already, should see a huge workload increase this week as Charles Johnson and Jarius Wright are both expected to miss the game this week against the Denver Broncos. That leaves Mike Wallace on the outside, who's going to get locked down on one of the best secondaries in the NFL, and Adrian Peterson to be the focal point of the defense, as he should be. Kyle Rudolph's going to have a huge opportunity and a huge chance to make a big splash this week as the Vikings try to play catch-up in Denver against Peyton Manning and that high-octane offense. Are there safer options out there? You bet. I love Jordan Reed for $5,400 and Tyler Eifert for $57,000, but if you're low on cash and need a big bang for the buck, Kyle Rudolph for $5,000 seems like a heck of a value. All right, well, I say it every week. I'm going to say it again. These are value guys, meaning just grabbing a few of these guys gives you a huge opportunity to go grab an elite player at their respective position. I'm talking about big boys who are the big boy pants. Here's an example of a lineup we're going to install this week for eDraft Sports. You can see grabbing Derek Carr, Carlos Williams, James Jones at those cheap, affordable prices gave us the money to go get Jamal Charles, Julio Jones, and Jimmy Graham. If you're new to FanDuel, make sure you go to eDraft.com and sign up, where they're going to match 100% of your first deposit up to $200. Check out eDraft.com for some crazy cool advanced metrics when picking your FanDuel lineup. It's going to give you the insider edge to put your team over the top. Start making some real money. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm here to help. Remember to have fun. That's what it's all about. For everybody at eDraft Sports, I'm Luke Inman, signing out.